And my dress is fabulous too. And I'm really sorry, but I haven't had time to learn them all because I've been a bit busy, because I had a bit of a mad moment where I decided to open a coffee shop, do an MA, and become a nana all in the space of 1 year. So here goes. The first poem is called Too Young, and the subtitle, if you like, is The Smell of Squid Stew Will Stay With Me Forever. But it becomes self-evident as to why. We exchanged mutual hatred under a searing French sun, choked on the nameless incinerated mess richly offered 3 times a day by your mother. As she dispelled in one charred plateful all myths about French cooking. Or was she the exception that proved the rule? In bleached tones, the fading Polaroid captures live promise, clad in sunshine yellow triangles and smiles, while she stands, folded arms and scowls, staring into tomorrow. Memories dined al fresco, fed youth's shallow sophistication with the primrose dish of aioli and pink radish. Shimmering rose wine, bubbles rise and pop as the radio's diet of plastic noise stops. The disembodied voice tells us Elvis has died. Garbled sound, misunderstood. Too young to mourn the fat cabaret singer, shrugging with callous disregard, curled lip sneers for the holiday tribute, basking in the heat haze of garlic and wine. I long for my mum's home cooking. Oh, and Robert Plant. This next one, I'll have to explain a bit or you'll all think I've gone completely bonkers. But Saltburn, which is just off, is on the coast from Middlesbrough. Last winter, this huge scarf started to appear, brilliantly knitted scarf that depicted the year ahead. It was the Olympics in wonderful workmanship. No one knows who knitted it, and no one knows who put it there, and no one knows why. And it made me think, not so much who those people were, but who taught them to knit, because it really is a work of art. This one's called Graffiti Knitter. Stabbed anger spent in clashing pins of fire, her road to Camelot hides broken dreams. Chicken wire holes in autumn hues, as cursed my lady weaves. Holding firm, tension set, moss grows fast even on rolling stones. The demon weaver of dreams, confined by the decaying rib-rising tower, proves a willing ally. As weaving a patchwork blanket, the wise one pulls it together, entwines her magic. Would she, could she, pull together a gaping heart? With parting shots of pearl-shimmered wisdom, we acknowledge her skill, watching as the fabric of life unfolds through the coloured world we create. I think I'm probably having a bit of a midlife crisis, but as I get older, what I find is I write a lot about, or I'm looking back at my past and the people who've shaped me a lot. And this poem came out of some work I did with Paul Sutherland, poet, and it's actually based on a placemat, and it was the pattern that brought this all back, and it's for my nan. It's called Her House. Caught in the coiled flecks of light, I see her in 50s print. Crossover pinny pinned tight against her heart, protection from everyday spots and stains. Honey drips sweet and gold, like songs on the radio. She banishes chrysanthemums, covers the mirrors, draws curtains tight. They have no place in her house, a place of undemanding luminosity. Vintage prints unearthed, I lay out my table. Life's simple pleasures, music, flowers, cake and tea. An imprint of concentric circles, barely noticed, that mark and bind us forever. The next one's about some time I spent in Greece, particularly on the island of Santorini. Really magical place, and if you get the chance, go there. Having said that, I was there nearly 30 years ago, so it's probably changed a lot since then. But it's the island that Maria Callas lived on with Aristotle and Nassis. And there's an extinct volcano, and every night it's customary to sit in a very lovely bar, watch the sun go down over the volcano. They play Maria Callas singing, and you get drunk. But this one is about that island and that time. It's called Santorini. From the quiet, extinguished furnace, a voice explores the Minotaur's labyrinth, emerging to soar, fly free, tease the halcyon-scarred velvet sky with yearning desire. Grant us entry to your tortured soul. Sharon's keen gaze sees it all, tendering burnt flesh on spit iron rod. Unnerved, Apollo accepts our offerings as we listen to the siren's plea. The fisherman drowned answering your call, craving something we try to understand, marvelling at the cage you inhabited. Spellbound, we listened, rejected your loss, fell sinking beneath the waves, welcomed the turquoise blue, secret contemplation captured in mosaic, orchestrated crescendo spews, goldenrod cooling beneath the agate. Willing victims, we hear your petition, as spirit-fed tears fell. This next one was written for Bob Beagrie, actually, who said I couldn't write anything in rhyme if he paid me. So this one is Saving It All for Friday Night. He works in an office, taxed, not taxing, all enthusiasm waxing, a ghost who haunts but doesn't fright, saving it all for Friday night. The girls in admin flock in ill-fitting shiny frocks. At 5 o'clock they take flight, a practice run for Friday night. Home alone to a meowed greeting, the ping of a microwave reheating. Curtains drawn, stays out of sight, hiding away till Friday nights. The gaggle of the giddy girls make it to a pub that swirls, flocks of others preening bright, giving it all before Friday night. Thursday night sees preparations made, pelt removed, unwanted suede, emerging nude, a canvas slight, getting ready for Friday night. The girls are bored of the same routine, men who lie and treat them mean. A change of scene will make it right, something different on Friday night. He bids the office a forlorn farewell. Excitement bubbles, no one can tell. Control it all, he knows it's trite, ready to explode this Friday night. Birds of paradise head downtown, overdone makeup, streaked tears of a clown. They could even meet Mr. Right, it will be better this Friday night. Emerging from the cocoon, Sleeping Beauty wakes, with candy floss hair and sequins that snake. A torch for Marilyn, Barbara, Judy catching light. He reaches out on Friday night. He sings their pain, he knows their story. They sit enraptured by his glory. Tiffany's songs of collective plight make them cry this Friday night. With a flick of his wrist she comes alive. They all forget the grotty dive. They can feel his pain, sense hidden bite, telling like it is this Friday night. Phoenix light, like reaching for the glitter ball on high, the girls let out a collective sigh. They don't need telling their lives are shite. He saved them all this Friday night. Two more to go, one very short one. This is for Michael Williams, who's currently at Her Majesty's Pleasure in Hill Home House in Stockton. He's the little shit who broke into my cafe a week after we opened. And what do any poet do while you're waiting for forensics to arrive? Clear up? No. Write about it, I say. Anyway, this is for Michael Williams and it's called Broken. Shattered rainbow shards illuminate silver, glittered dewdrops tinged red, where you smashed your way in. A violent act, at odds with the sunshine, bright light, after grey, rain-soaked weeks. We hope it was painful. Stitches at the least, that will twist and tighten in your skin. Shocked by my non-existent sympathy, the scars form. Scars we will both share, a constant reminder of the night I lost empathy, and you became even smaller than before. And this last one is written about my eldest daughter, who, as Kirsten said, is due to give birth any minute. And the first line was given to me by my youngest daughter as we drove to the scan, which goes to prove that that something's actually going on in most teenagers' heads. But here we go. Floating cavemen. Are babies born claustrophobic? Born trapped, scared of small spaces, hostages in a dank, dark cave, or movement restricted, sensory deprived, in a slick-coated sack that binds before, blinking, skriking, squawking, encountering brilliant light? Or are they floating Moomin trolls? Enjoying the freedom unfettered ignorance brings, listening to the soup dragon symphony of sound as they wait, emerging triumphant through a wormhole, a rent in time and space that lets us split infinitives as we boldly go. Or are we born victims of a sci-fi cult? Memory gone, circuits wiped, horror erased, like that of our mothers. Fear reoccurring in dreams of drowning, small spaces, potholing. Severe agoraphobia that informs our waking days. Inquisitiveness quashed in the battle for freedom. Can we suppress our bubbling anger, channel our rage, with arms wide open welcome the new, actively seek out life's offerings? Can we rewrite our beginnings? Or do we remain rootless, floating cavemen?